topic is Kevalastaka. Kevalastaka is a very nice song glorifying in 8 verses, Ashtaka, the glories of the chanting of the holy name. And the refrain for each of the 8 verses is Harir Nama Eva Kevalam. Harir Nama Eva Kevalam. This chanting of the holy name is certainly the most glorious. And the Sanskrit is really simple, like really simple and very sweet. Here's the first verse. Madaram Madarebhyopi Mangalebhyopi Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyopi Harir Nameva Kevalam. So there's the title, and that screen shows it, and that screen shows it, and that one doesn't show it. Is there some way, oh technology wizards, to get this screen to also show? And if not, you can just look at this one or that one, and you can sing along. And the musician team is over here, and she'll sing, and then you respond, and so forth. She'll sing, and you respond, and very sweet. Very sweet. Okay, so let's begin.
Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam.
Reply.
Madhuram madhurebhyopi Pavanam pavanebhyopi Harinameva kevalam
Pavanam
pavanebhyopi Harinameva kevalam Abhamastampapayantam Sarvamayam jagat Satyam satyam punah satyam Harinameva kevalam Sa guru sa pita chapi sa mata bandhavo pisa Shikshaye chit sada smatum Harinameva kevalam विश्वासे नहि विश्वासा कदारूढो भविष्यति विश्वासे नहि विश्वासा कदारूढो भविष्यति कीर्तनीयामतो भयात् हरिनामेव केवलम् हरि सदा वसे तत्र यत्र भगवता जना हरि सदा वसे तत्र यत्र भगवता जना गायन्ति भक्ति भावेना हरिनामेव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखं दुःखादुःखतरं यतः
अहो दुःखं
कचतं विस्मृतं रत्ना हरिनामेव केवलम् धीयतां धीयतां कर्णो नियतां नियतां वचः गीयतां गीयतां नित्यां हरिनामेव केवलम् विनिकृत्य जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि विनिकृत्य जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धं हरिनामेव केवलम् हरिनामेव केवलम् हरिनामेव केवलम् Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One more.
Oh.
And then there's one more after that. Not a different mantra. Yeah, one more.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranga, 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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. And here's the final slide. She doesn't have to sing this one. But the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, exactly as we received it from our founder Acharya and previous Acharyas in our line of disciplic succession, comes directly from this Upanishad. And the second half of that line, after searching through all the Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of Hare Krishna. So our plan is Shyamasundara Prabhu is going to speak on one of the verses. He selected verse number 2, and here's verse number 2. And after he speaks on verse number 2, I'm going to select another verse, probably verse number 7. So you have a microphone? Is it turned on? Up? You're on. Okay, great.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Ghananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri
Gurave Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Bhavrati Se Namaha Nityanandam Aham Naumi Sarva Anand Karam Param Hari Nam Pradam Devam Avtuta Shiromani. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaura Gi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Pri Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती तमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी इति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे। So thank you very much for coming to the Sunday feast. Sri Radha Shyamsundara and Sri Radha Madhav Chaitanya Mahaprabhu look so glorious. We get so much immense benefit by coming to the temple. So everyone should feel fortunate to come and take the darshan of the wonderful deities. So I'll be speaking on the second verse. Abrahma stamba paryantam sarvam maya mayam jagat satyam satyam punah satyam hare nama eva kevalam. From Lord Brahma to a small insect or grass are the product of the Krishna's external energy called Maya. Krishna has three energies: internal, external, and marginal. So we all, the living beings, fall under the category of the marginal energy of Krishna. So we have the choice: either we get influenced by the external energy, or we can get influenced by the internal energy of Krishna. So here in this verse it says that from the blade of grass to the Lord Brahma, everything is nothing but the Maya. It is not that Lord Brahma is Maya. He is pure devotee of the Lord. But what our Acharya is trying to convey to us, that normally we assume that somehow if I can uplift myself a little bit, then all my problem will be solved. Someone may think that if I can get access to Brahmaloka, or even become Brahma himself, all the problems will be solved. So our Acharya is trying to convince us that even if we become Brahma, still there will be some problems. There is no other better ways than chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra purely. Problem is everywhere on this material world. No matter where we go, problem will be always there. There is no place where problem doesn't exist except Goloka Vrindavan. So miseries, pain, suffering, all are everywhere. Nobody is on over-increasing complete bliss in this world. Only persons are blissful who have taken complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Nama Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Holy name of Krishna, anxieties and everywhere from this planet to Brahmaloka. Everyone is in anxiety. Someone may think that if I get everything I need, if I can attain, there will be no anxiety in his life. But in Bhagavad Gita 8:15, Krishna explains this material world as a dukhalam or sasvastam, the place of misery and temporary. This material world is full with the duality. Some people are poor, some people are rich. Some people are intelligent, some people are not intelligent. Someone is fat, someone is thin. So if we use this, absorbs in the duality, if we are poor and we will work so hard to become rich, lots of our energy will go toward that point. And ultimately, it's temporary. But if we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then our life will become successful. Actually, there is no guarantee of anything in this world. We may think or we may inhale but there is no guarantee that we will be able to excel. Life is very, Govinda Das says, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala, Bhajahu Haripadani Tire. Our life is like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. Even little wind can come and shake the lotus leaf, and the drop will be out. So our life is very temporary. Recently in Houston, 3 devotees got cancer. And everyone think that I have to work, I have to do so many things. But when the difficulty comes, we survive. We have no choice. But our problem is we feel that we will resolve our problem ourselves with our own strength. That is Maya Devi. Govinda Das has given the solution in the next line, that Bhajahu Raymana Srinanda Nandana. That if we will worship the lotus feet of the holy name, then we will become Abhay, fearless. But if we don't surrender ourselves according to Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, Ye yatha mam prapadante, as we surrender to Krishna, he will assist us. And in this age, particularly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended the process of worship Lord Sri Krishna by chanting purely his holy name. That's the process Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. So it shows that we should seek for that happiness which we can experience eternally, not just temporary. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.26, Mother Queen Kunti prayed that, my Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of the material progress, great opulence, high birth, good education, bodily beauty, will not approach Lord Sri Krishna with the sincere feeling. So all this opulence is if you don't utilize properly, it's work against us. Example, there is a lot of anxiety if someone wants to become a king, right? It's difficult. But even greater anxiety is there after he becomes king, how to maintain that kingdom. Mm-hmm. So anxiety is not due to the external circumstances. It is due to the internal circumstances. We are habituated to live with the anxiety. When we have no job, we worry so much about the job. And when we got the job, still we will be in anxiety that how long my job will last. And then also the anxiety comes that how can I climb to the higher position within that company, right? Anxiety is always there. So we need to change something internally, not externally. And our Acharya has laid down the path to follow, to become stable internally by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra purely. The main reason to purely chanting the holy name is to re-establish our eternal relationship that we have with Krishna. But somehow or other we have forgotten. And the relationship with Krishna, and then we should have no anxiety by chanting his holy name. So by chanting, still the problem will be there. But the way that we approach will be totally different. You have attained higher consciousness, means that you are fully convinced about our real position, Jivere Sri Rupa Hai Krishna Re Nitya Das. If we accept that position, then we can remain happy. Like the constitution position of the fish is to stay in the water. If you take it out the fish out of the water and put in the golden days, fish won't be happy. So our constitution position is to serve and dedicate our life to the pleasure of the divine couple. Unless and until we do that, we will be always in anxiety. So our lives is by the sweet will of Krishna. Nothing can happen to us except the sanction of Krishna in our life. And we become totally dependent on Krishna for our maintenance, protection. And when you internally convince of those, then you will become peaceful and will be able to chant more and more with rapt attention. And we will derive the great happiness, not just the temporary, but that ever-increasing happiness we can derive. But we need to connect with Krishna by chanting his holy names purely. Some disciple asked Srila Prabhupada that you are telling us that by becoming Krishna conscious, all the problem will be solved. But we see in our life that still problem persists. So what the Prabhupada's response was? Yes, you have taken place in my boat, which is still in this material world. So the waves and danger is still there. But you should know that I'm a very expert captain of the boat. Just stay in the boat by following my instruction rigidly. Boat will cross over safely of this material nations, and you will become free from the cycle of birth and death. So in our material consciousness, we think our situation in the lives should remain the same or even the better. But we should know it is temporary. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, all the seasons will come and go. We need to learn to tolerate it. So if we realize that problems are here but will not stay permanently, then what is the problem? It will go away without our effort. So it's only a question of time. Why don't you all close your eyes for a few seconds? Everyone, close your eyes. Look into your past life and see the most miserable time that you have in your life. Everyone has gone through that. Remember that you had the most miserable time in your life. You were so miserable at that time. You were feeling that whole world is falling apart. Now open your eyes. That problem doesn't exist. Right? It's no longer the problem is there. So all the problem will come in our life. But due to the time, it will gone away. But we are eternalize the anxiety in our heart. We feel that the problem will always remain in my life. So why we have to worry for the present problem? This problem, presently, whatever we have, it will be gone away in a matter of time. Automatically, without our effort. So you cannot tell the sun not to rise or the moon not to come. We have no control over it. We have no choice. So same way in our life, good time will come and sometime we have to face the bad time. This is the nature of this material world. Everything in our life is passing through. It's just a memory. Maya Devi is strongly working to convince us to understand that this material world is permanent. You know, when the Pandava was exiled, right? And Draupadi became thirsty. And everybody was trying to look for the water. And the prophecy was coming from the sky. Unless and until you give me the answer, you cannot have the water. You have to leave your body. So start with this Sahadev, Nakul, and Arjuna, Bhima, everybody. They cannot answer the question. So they leave their body. Finally, Yudhishthira Maharaj went. And what was the question? Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti mayamalam se sastavaram ichanti kim asyarya athaparam. What is the most amazing thing in this world? That we have seen our forefathers, fathers, relatives, friends passing away from this life, from this world. Sesa means, you have a 14 divided by 4. 14 times 3 is 12. 2 is the remainder. Sesa. So who has not yet died? Like us. We feel, even though we have seen through our own eyes, everybody is living this world, but we feel, I'm going to survive eternally. That's how we live our life, right? We never think. Sometimes some people died at age of 50, right? And if you are 35, you will say, oh, he was 50 years, so he may have died. But we don't see the 3-year-olds also die. Then we don't put the equation that I'm really living on my extended mercy of the Krishna. We forget that. So everything in our mind and heart, in our life, we eternalize everything. We want to be here. If we have example of the glass is given, that if we are wearing the red glass, then everywhere you see, you will see red. If you wear the green glass, you will see everything green. Similarly, if our vision, which is contaminated with ignorance, we will see all bad. But by the learning to see through the words of the scripture and the words of our disciplic succession, spiritual masters, then we will be able to see clearly. We have very limited senses, like if I put this piece of paper in front of my eyes, I can't see anything. If you want to see that some things far distance, we need to use the binocular to see the things. And what the spiritual master does, same work as a binocular, to bring that transcendental world close to us so we can perceive how the spiritual world is looking. So even in this material world, due to the limitation of our vision, we need to have the binocular to see the things with the help of the spiritual master, who works as a binocular to help us see better. And we are getting attracted to so many things. And the marketing people, they are so strong. They are making that people should not make their own choice. We should make the decision what they need to have. So strong marketing. You look at the billboard and everything. What we want to do, they want to control our life. Everything. Now, how we will be able to resist those temptations? By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Surely, we will be able to resist all these temptations of this material world. And then, when we lose those temptations, we will become peaceful. And when we become peaceful, we will be able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very attentively. No distractions will come, right? No distraction, no anxiety. We are unable to concentrate the mind when we chant because we keep deep-rooted attachment to the material things which is temporary. One time, Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj was visiting Houston and we have a program. So I asked Maharaj, please tell me 2 simple some instructions, easy to understand. And he gave very profound but very simple instructions. One, he told me that if you are holding a tree trunk and you are crying out to Guru, please Gurudev, release me from this bondage of this tree, right? All the Vaishnava, please help me. But you have to release your hand to become free. Nobody is holding you. You are the one holding everything. That was a profound instruction. And the second instruction he gave was that if you have the boat, then normally we anchor, right? Now next morning, suppose you want to have the journey in the boat and you forgot to release the anchor. No matter how hard you will try to move the boat, it will not move even 1 foot because you have not yet released the anchor. What is those anchor? Material attachment, deep-rooted attachment that we have. So unless and until we give up those attachments, our boat will not go further. So we are in this world, and we are not saying that give up your family, give up your assets. Keep it, but allocate more and more time for the eternal benefit of the spiritual activity. Minimize those necessities of our life, somehow or other. I have come up with the new fundraising idea. So I am now proposing.
Tell the temple here they need it.
That if look at your number of years that you have worked, gather your W-4, see that how much money it has come into your account. Then you see on your savings what percentage that you really save the money. Suppose you have saved 12%, 15%. Then I highly recommend that when your paycheck comes, that same percentage you put in the saving account. Still the leftover is there, 85%. That's where we need to work on it. Make a schedule that, okay, I'm not going to spend 85% for my own enjoyment. I'm going to cut down my expenses to 70% and 15% at least start with something that will be used for Krishna's service.
Sham, you got that?
So they are not losing anything. They are saving the same amount of money. And they will be also getting eternal benefits by donating the money for the temple activity. And why we are acting like that? Because of the influence of the false ego. False ego is telling our mind to do what we never want to do. Actually, according to the scripture, if we analyze our activity, like in Nectar of Instruction, if you read the verse number 2, Patyahara Prayasascha, unnecessary we are collecting. And human being is the worst. Like if you throw the bags of grain outside, you look at the birds, what they will do? They will come, they will eat couple of grains. And most probably some birds will take few grains for their kids. But if you throw it out something, put the bag outside, human being, they will bring the 15, 18-wheeler and load it up everything. They won't leave for anybody else. Right? That's our tendency to collect. So in the third line, it says the Satyam, Satyam, Puna Satyam. That they are saying that this is the truth. That just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will free us from this cycle of birth and death. And we become so happy and jubilant. We don't have to come to this material world to suffer. So devotee has to be very sincere, enthusiastic, determined, and also we should have some patience. Prabhupada used to say that my Western devotee are not afraid of the Maya. We have heard that Srila Prabhupada, when he will come and take the darshan of the deity, Prabhupada, even though he was a pure devotee, he was praying to the deity that please save me from the influence of Maya. But now Prabhupada used the term Western devotees. But now all the country of the world has accepted the Westernized civilizations. So it's applied to everyone. It's not just the Western. So this is we are not afraid of the Maya. Maya is showing us something which is not a reality. Like if you are driving toward in the desert, always you will see the mirage. But as you drive further, water is not there. But we think that there is a water. So we need to really think and reevaluate our life, what we intend to do in our life. Make some goals. So we are not getting closer to Krishna because we are in the Maya. So if we analyze our lives, we put so much effort to keep all relations in this world and take away all the time, but we have no time to become close to Krishna. So on those some days, we should really take some time. Actually, we have seen in our life, we live so busy life that we have no even time to sit down and quietly think what we intend to do in this life. So my humble request, when you go home, please sit down quietly, make a plan of your life, what you intend to do really. If we have taken up the initiation and we want to succeed in the devotional life, then follow the instruction properly, not just for sake of taking the initiation. Then we will be able to prosper. So thank you very much for listening.
Boy, was he prepared. Better? Kevalastakam. Harir Nam Eva Kevalam. The translation, as you see, the holy name of Shri Hari alone is everything. The holy name alone, the holy name of Shri Hari alone is everything. That means he is, the name is our shelter, and there's no other shelter. There's no need for other shelter. There is no other shelter. He is everything. So our plan was that I would speak on one verse after he spoke, and I now have about 8 minutes left because he was so prepared.
Sorry.
Diyatam karno niyatam vachaha giyatam nityam harir nam eva kevalam. Many of us in this room were here for much of the day, or he was here since midnight this morning, and absorbed in chanting the holy name. And it's not a different mantra, it's each mantra is the same mantra, and then the next mantra is the same mantra and the same mantra. It should be heard again and again with one's ears, karno. For those of you that were not with us, we heard Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, make strong emphasis on the process of chanting. Success in the process of chanting rests upon hearing. So there's the hearing with the ear, just the auditory process, and then that auditory process we discussed, it sends a signal to the central switchboard called the mind. The senses gather information, send signals to the mind assesses what was that signal. And so then some impression is made in the mind of whatever the sense activity is. And then the intelligence tries to sort it out. It fits here, it doesn't fit there, and so on. The analysis of that impression that's within the mind. However, the chanting of the holy name is also heard by the same ear, but because it's a transcendental vibration, as one becomes, I remember what the other topic was. The other topic that you were bringing up during the discussion was another statement by Bhaktisiddhanta. Yes, the other statement by Bhaktisiddhanta was, let me say. One other statement by Bhaktisiddhanta is those coverings that make it difficult by Giyatam Karno Niyatam Vachaha. Gradually, the coverings become effaced. Remember that discussion? So continue by practice. Practice means again and again, exactly as it's being said here. Again and again. And gradually the coverings become effaced. And as the coverings become effaced, then the potential is there that with the spiritual senses, one can receive that sound. Practice, properly performed, then the spiritual senses can experience the object, which is transcendental. That is, Krishna himself. And because there's 7 minutes left, I'm just going to go to one other topic because I like it. One of the reasons I like this verse is it reminds me of Rupa Goswami. And when you have a strong feeling for a great acharya and reminded of that great acharya, something happens inside. So that's what happens to me with this verse. There's one of my favorite verses or teachings of Rupa Goswami is very similar to this. It's not the same, but it's very similar. It has to do with the tongue, the ear, and the heart. And the verse says, how much nectar the two syllables Krishna goes back to the first. Madaram Madarebhyopi. That's very sweet. How much nectar the two syllables Krishna had produced, who can say? Then he speaks of the first part of the process of chanting is making the sound. So as the sound, Krishna, is within the mouth, it's so sweet. Krishna is dancing on my tongue. I want many, many tongues. And after making the sound comes the hearing. And when one hears attentively and regularly with the coverings effaced gradually, then it's such nectar, one wants millions of ears. That would look funny, wouldn't it? Millions of ears. That's Rupa Goswami's chanting because he's experiencing the sweetness. And then, the next thing happens is when that sound enters into the courtyard of the heart, the mind becomes stunned and the senses become inert. The other senses. And it's making the sound. Diyatam karno, niyatam vachaha. Giyatam. So vacha is the previous, now it becomes giyatam. Sing. Perpetually. Giyatam, nityam. Harir nameva kevalam. And when that process is followed, practice, but when that process is followed again and again, as we do with the Hare Krishna movement, we like kirtan. Again and again. How long? Again and again. How long? Again and again. No end. And just naturally just naturally, one becomes joyful. And then comes the dancing. It's not planned exactly. Sometimes it's planned. But even without planning, it's just natural. Because what's inside starts to come out. And it's already inside, it's just covered. But the effacing of the covering, removal of the covering from diyatam karno, niyatam vachaha, giyatam nityam harirnameva kevalam. So this series, the Kevalastakam verses, it's so simple. The Sanskrit is so simple, and the message is right on. It's so profound and so meaningful. Part of what Shyamasundara said, the clock is ticking. The bell's going to ring in 2 minutes. So I remember the first time I was introduced to this song was the celebrity kirtanir Badahari Prabhu. Many of you know who he is. Some of you don't know who he is. May you be fortunate enough to have his association. He's just, as soon as he sits at the harmonium and starts to sing, the whole room lights up. His body becomes effulgent, and everyone feels the effulgence and the warmth of his love for the holy name, and it goes up from there. He sang this song the first time I heard it, and we did the same thing. Each person had an opportunity to select, and the one that he selected was this one. I was really surprised about sadness. Oh, dukkam mahad dukkam dukkha dukkadaram yata. I remember? He really got into it. It's there 4 times. How unfortunate. Such a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery of the world. That which is such a jewel, taking it as kacha. Some of you don't have the advantage of being, American. Somebody that knows nothing about anything with the Vedic culture. But one of the words, first words I recall very clearly Prabhupada explaining is kacha. Paka and kacha. So, kachartam vishvatam ratna, the jewel, taking the jewel to be something that's kacha. Very sad. How sad. Then the flip side is recognizing what a jewel and letting it being sung, heard, and enter the courtyard of the heart, and the mind becomes stunned. The senses not only become inert, but the senses become spiritually enlivened as well. That's what we've been hearing. So that's a little sharing on this nice Kevalastakam song. And we like to keep our schedule here. We have our timekeepers to make sure we keep our schedule. So we'll end. And thank you all for coming. And Shyam, you did a fantastic job of, letting people in and out and making sure they could take darshan of the deities. And that's not an easy task to do politely. Congratulations, you did a nice job. You want a microphone? You got a microphone. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj and Shyamasundar Prabhu. If anybody has 1 or 2 quick questions.
You want this one?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is like from yesterday's class. You mentioned that once Prabhupada said that after like 10,000 years there would be no temples and no worship. Why is that? Like,
Yes, Prabhupada says that in this. Huh?
There may be.
Maybe.
There will be.
Yeah. So Prabhupada used to say that because of the influence of the age of Kali, the people will become totally irreligious. Even the devotee wants to do the sadhana bhakti, having the temple, the demoniac people will harass them. It would be very difficult to perform the devotional activity. So within the Kali Yuga, that 428,000 years, the first 10,000 years, Prabhupada says, is the golden time in Kali Yuga, where we have the great opportunity to get free from the cycle of birth and death. After 10,000 years, it's difficult, because when we build the Houston, when Tamal Krishna Maharaj installed the deity, he told me that, Shyamasundara, after building the temple, if you still alive, you are good at the fundraising, raise the fund enough. So at least 10,000 years the deity worship should go on. So those are the facts I was relating.
Thank you all. Today's Sunday feast, Sunday program sponsorship is by Sandhya Devidasi. She is celebrating Festival of Holy Name and requesting for devotees' prayers. Thank you, Sandhya, for sponsoring the whole day program. And today's Sunday feast is sponsored by two families, Susmita Banerjee and family seeking devotees' blessings. Is Susmita here? No? Okay. And Kunal Hajra and family celebrating son Shriyan's birthday. So, for the spiritual well-being and spiritual progress of these families, all the family members, please chant after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For the coming weeks, Sunday program, which is a whole day worship of the deities, or Sunday feast, if anybody is interested in sponsoring, please contact Ramdas Prabhu. I see there is a large crowd here today. Prasadam, as you know, is downstairs. So you can go down through the steps and form a line. And I think everything is ready, right, Shyam? Yeah, those who are, I mean, I don't know, everybody is a guest, I think. Maybe some of you can start and others can, if you have any questions, you can ask. Questions. Those who need to go, you can first get up and go, and I think there are some more questions here.
Before you go, we just have one more announcement very quickly. We have a campaign coming up. It's the Bhadra Purnima campaign. And downstairs are tables where you can get the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a very central, auspicious book that we are distributing. So please look out for these books. Hare Krishna.